I'm Peder Charlesworth. My friends call me Ped, and I'm from the UK, from a little village just outside of London. I grew up from my family with just stories of the outdoors, like my dad and my grandma, they're climbers. My grandma was actually in the Himalayas when she was 80, and I think I just eventually wanted to have these stories for myself. I grew up in an area that there wasn't mountains, there wasn't these areas where you can do these things, so cycling was kind of my escape from it. And from cycling I can go into these mountains, I can travel distances, and that's where I really fell in love with it. So my bike is called Tina. I actually spent time putting together all the parts and created her in my garage, as it was. She's an American frame, so I decided to call her Tina. And actually, when I was cycling in Switzerland, by complete fluke, I cycled past Tina Turner's house. I don't know which house it was, but I was told later on that day that I cycled past Tina Turner's house, so yeah, that's my baby. So I left on the 20th of January, 2018, and now it's been nearly 9 months on the road. I started off very quickly, and now I'm kind of slowing down a little bit in India, enjoying myself. It's definitely different, it's intense, especially riding on a bike. You see the warts and all of the country, right? The good, the bad, and the motorways are definitely interesting, let's say, a place for a bicycle. But there is this, there's a lot of emotion here, and it's a wonderful place, it really is, you know. As long as you get away from that craziness sometimes, you can find a place like this in Rishikesh where it's just absolutely stunning and you just feel at home. It's been the best thing I've ever done, without a doubt. Each country's so different, you know. Each culture's so different, and you can go across a space of just a couple kilometers and you're almost in one world to another, you know. I crossed the border from Tajikistan into Kyrgyzstan. One country's red and the other's green, literally on the border. It's just exciting. I love this trip, I love this lifestyle. It's why I've actually decided to extend my trip and carry on with it. I actually engaged in some problems going over Tajikistan, which is an area in Central Asia with a mountainous region that borders on Afghanistan. You form these really strong connections with people in these places, and for example in Tajikistan there was a horrible tragedy this year. There was actually an ISIS terrorist attack where 2 of my friends who I met cycling the other way were killed in this attack. And I guess that mental aspect, it kind of ties into the tough challenges, you know. There's a physicality, but there's also these bonds with people that you make and break as you go along, and I guess that's probably one of the toughest things. People see someone traveling on a bike and you are not a threat to them, you know. Maybe if I pulled up in a big Jeep with speakers blaring, they would go, "Who's this guy?" But when it's me riding a little bike wearing some crappy old shirt, people tend to just take you in. The best part personally was a kind of realization that I can do this, that actually I am thriving. I can find somewhere to sleep every night, even if there are no hotels. I learned how to talk to people, even though I couldn't speak their language. And I wasn't just getting through, I started enjoying it, you know. It wasn't just going through Europe in -20 and just about getting through. It was actually engaging with people and enjoying it. And then the second part would be, actually, I convinced my dad to fly out and cycle with me. So me and him cycled through Western China and Pakistan together. And to see him come into an environment that he's never been before and would never be on any other means, and enjoy it and have that father-son moment, you know, that was probably the most special thing. And I don't even know if I can beat that, you know. I think there've definitely been times where I felt like the trip hasn't been going well, but in terms of giving up, that's never been an option. It was very nearly forced upon me, actually, when we lost our passports in the streets of Pakistan in Islamabad. But even then, the thought of going home actually hurt me so badly that I realized that I have to continue on this trip, and there actually is something innate that makes me want to do this. So yeah, it's been tough, but there's always the good that will come around the corner, you know. It's like a roller coaster. When you're traveling on your own, the lows are lower and the highs are higher. So part of my trip has always been to try and encourage people to cycle. People that aren't necessarily cyclists or racers, or even, you know, going down the gym, being that active, you know. I'm a traveler and I travel by bike. So I've actually been trying to actively encourage people, saying, come out, cycle with me. You know, I have a spare bike here at home, fly out. So actually, I have a friend who's coming out to Nepal, Kathmandu in 2 weeks' time. So I'll leave here tomorrow and I will have to cycle very fast to get to Kathmandu, and I'll meet her and we'll cycle together. So that's the next couple of weeks for me.